Hey, 8th grade, this is Ms. Harkness, and I am here to review with you the elimination method that we learned in Lesson 28. In class, we looked at different systems of equations, particularly ones like this one. So this system of equations, it is best practice to use this elimination method because it's already in standard form. When they're already in standard form, we need to do a quick assessment and look to see if I add or subtract this system of equations, will it eliminate one of the variables? So I'm going to draw a line across, and then when I look down this column, and this column, well, if I were to add this system of equations together, my x values would eliminate. So this one's ready to eliminate. 9x minus 9x gives me 0. 2y plus 3y gives me positive 5y. And then 9 and 6 make 15. Well, I don't actually need this x portion of the problem. If 5y is 15, y equals 3. Now that I know y equals 3, I can solve for x. In order to solve for x, I'm going to put this 3 into the y spot of either equation. I'm going to choose the top one. So instead of writing y, I'm going to write 3 because y equals 3. So 9x plus 2 times 3 is 6 equals 9. Now I have a two-step equation. Take away 6. 9x equals 3. X equals 3 divided by 9 is 1/3. Now I know I'm a little cramped for space over there, so I'm going to come over here to the left. My final answer, my ordered pair, x is 1/3, y is 3. All right, let's look at a second system of equations. Here it's in standard form. Both equations are in standard form, so we want to use the elimination method. Now, if I were to draw my addition or subtraction problem and add vertically or subtract vertically, neither of the variables would eliminate. X would not eliminate and y would not eliminate. So what I need to do is not subtract or add yet. I'm not ready. I'm going to create equivalent equations. So in this case, I want to multiply this bottom equation by 2. I choose 2 because when I do 2 times negative 2, I'm going to get negative 4x. And when I consider the top equation added to the bottom equation, those two will cancel each other out, which is what I want. So I'm going to continue creating this equivalent equation. I did 2 times 2x. So let's do 2 times 4y is going to give me 8y. And then 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. For the sake of equivalence, I need to multiply this 2 times every term here. I have doubled it. Now I've removed that second equation because I created an equivalent equation, so I don't need that second equation. Now I'm ready to add. 4 minus 4, or 4 plus negative 4 is 0. Negative 3 plus 8 gives me 5. And then 16 plus negative 4 gives me 12. If you want to think of it, 16 minus 4, it's the same thing. Now, if 5y is 12, y equals 12 fifths, because we would divide by 5 as our last step. Now, we're not done. We have to use y to solve for x. I can choose either equation. In this case, I chose this equivalent equation that I made. I have to put my y value into the y spot. So that's what's happening here on this purple equation. Let me give myself some more room to work. Now I'm ready to compute this out. Minus 4x plus 12 times 8 is 96 divided by 5 gives me 19.2 equals negative 4. So I need to do my two-step equation here. Let me give myself a little more room again. Remove that. So they added 19.2, so I'm going to subtract. So minus 4x equals 23.2. X equals 23.2 divided by 4 is 5.8. So my answer would be 5.8, comma, 12/5. Or you can say 5.8, comma, 2.4. That's fine. Both are the correct answer. So as you can see, there's a lot of math going on here. There's a lot that we had to solve. We had to solve for x and then use x to solve for y. So let's recap. If both equations in your system of equations are in slope-intercept form, you want to use substitution. If you have one of each, so one is in slope-intercept form and one is in standard form, so if they're both in slope-intercept form, you want to use substitution. If they're one of each, one is slope-intercept and one is standard form, you also want to use substitution. If they are both in standard form, you want to use elimination. As always, unless the directions force you to use a certain method, you can choose the one that you're most comfortable with. Use rearranging to get them to fit one of these three categories. And then solve. All right, that's all.